Hi there, this is Rob Hanna. Today I'm going to discuss the Overnight Edges EdgeFinder and why traders may want to consider the edges identified there in their decision making. Before we get into it, I need to give you a brief moment to read the following disclaimer. The EdgeFinder is a tool that identifies historical studies. While I use this data as a primary factor in my decision making, there's no assurance that you'll see comparable or even profitable results in the future. One of the biggest challenges for quantitatively oriented traders is organizing their research in such a way that they can draw upon it when it's appropriate. They not only need to recognize that a favorable setup may be occurring, but they also need a way to easily retrieve their research related to that setup. On my other website, Quantifiable Edges, I developed a tool in 2009 that automatically identified setups that were triggering that related to past research of mine. I called this tool the QuantiFinder. And it allows subscribers to pull up a web page where they're provided links to previously published works that relate to current market activity. It's a real popular feature among my subscribers, and I wanted to incorporate similar technology for overnight edges. Of course, the difficulty in doing this was that I've kept my overnight related research secret for so long that there are not publications to link to. Therefore, I needed to devise a way to format the output in plain English. So rather than generating links, the EdgeFinder produces short notes about current market action that has historically suggested a bullish or bearish overnight edge. Many of the setups noted by the EdgeFinder are setups that are also included in the Quantifiable Edges QuantiFinder. Rather than looking out several days or weeks like the Quantifiable Edges studies, the EdgeFinder simply focuses on the overnight results. But I didn't stop there. There are also a good number of studies in the EdgeFinder that are not part of the QuantiFinder. So let's take a look at a recent EdgeFinder page to get an idea of the kind of information that may be found there. Here's a screenshot of the Overnight EdgeFinder Notes page from August 3rd, 2012. As I mentioned at the top of this page, the EdgeFinder is run at about 3:45 each day. When logging onto the page, you can see if it's already been posted for that day by noting the date of the last run, which can be found right here. Underneath that, studies are broken out so that the bullish ones appear first, and in green, and the bearish ones appear next, and in red. If no overnight edges are triggered based on the current day's action, then the area below where it says bullish studies or bearish studies will be blank. It's not uncommon for one or the other of these to be blank. On this day, there was just one bearish study that appeared. It showed that there have been 14 other times where the S&P futures have gapped up greater than 1%, made a 10-day intraday high, left the gap unfilled and closed above the open and above the 200-day moving average. 4 of those instances saw ES gap up the next day, and 10 of them were followed by a gap down. The profit factor for long entries would have been 0.08, which if you are looking to trade this edge short is the equivalent of a 12.5 profit factor. On this day there was only one study that triggered. On days where we see multiple studies trigger, you'll note that they appear in order based on the percentage that gap up or down. For instance, if there were 3 bullish studies, then the one that saw the highest percentage of instances gap up would appear at the top of the list, and the one that saw the lowest percentage of instances gap up would appear at the bottom of the list. I find this makes it a bit easier to quickly see what setups are providing the strongest edges. The EdgeFinder is not my primary decision-making tool when considering overnight positions. That distinction goes to the odds sheets, but it's a neat tool that can provide some valuable input. I prefer seeing studies appear that are lopsided, either bullish or bearish. When conflicting studies trigger, it suggests the overnight edge might not be as clear-cut. And most importantly, I look to the EdgeFinder to either confirm or offset the overnight bias suggested by the odds sheet. If odds sheet stats are strong and the EdgeFinder provides supporting directional evidence, then I will more confidently be able to establish a position. If the EdgeFinder conflicts with the odds sheets, then I may consider passing on a possible trade and awaiting a more favorable trading opportunity. While both the EdgeFinder and the odds sheet can provide valuable information, when used in conjunction, the results are capable of being even more powerful. Hopefully, after listening to this presentation, you have a solid understanding of what's available on the EdgeFinder page and how you may want to incorporate it into your decision making. If anything was unclear and you would like further explanation, feel free to contact me through the Overnight Edges website. Thanks for listening, and as we like to say here, rest easy. The odds are in your favor.